affected their rebound as well since then. How has that affected the province?
Well, in 2009, it had a very dramatic effect in potash, particularly. We saw a sharp reduction in the revenues for the province of Saskatchewan. But in 2010, the good news is we see the industry is roaring back. I understand that the exports are going at a record pace right now into the United States and being exported offshore as well. So the industry is coming back. I think the industry, and we are saying that 2010 is going to be a recovery year for the potash industry, and we're certainly looking forward to that.
Now, did Saskatchewan actually see much of a benefit from those royalty changes a couple of years ago in Alberta? Was there a big impact?
Yes, there was. We saw companies making a decision to shift their investment from other places, Alberta included, to Saskatchewan. We saw a great deal of activity as a result of that. Budgets going up, drilling going up. Saskatchewan's doing very, very well. We have a competitive royalty structure. We haven't made any changes in it. We feel that it's very, very important that the industry knows exactly where our royalty structure is, and so we haven't made any changes. People feel it's the appropriate levels, and we're very pleased with what we see in terms of activity.
So it is true to say then potentially the province does have a lot at stake in what is going to happen or what we might hear out of Alberta tomorrow.
Well, it may. I'm not aware of the details as of yet, but we think that our royalty structure, because of the stability that there is and also the regulatory environment that there is in Saskatchewan, the very good business climate that we have in our province, we think we are very, very competitive. So I doubt we'll be making any changes. I think the stability factor alone is a very important feature for our province.
Well, what's different about what your province is doing from the others if we're putting them side by side? What's special about Saskatchewan right now?
Well, I don't think anything is necessarily special. I think what it is the stability. Just knowing that we haven't made any changes, that the regime is very, very competitive compared with other jurisdictions, and the fact that we have a very strong business climate. I think we have a premier that is clearly becoming the spokesperson for business, industry, oil and gas sector in our province. I think has held us in very good position.
Bill, what are you doing personally to bring foreign investment into the province?
Well, we are, like we are doing right now, we're in Toronto for the mining conference and talking to companies about investing in Saskatchewan. We travel to other jurisdictions. We also travel out of the country. I was recently in China and Japan talking about investing in the oil and gas sector there to companies that are interested in the resources that we have in our province. So it's that kind of activity, making, first of all, people aware of the resource base that we have, a very big resource base in Saskatchewan, and then they want to talk about royalty structures, they want to talk about the regulatory framework. All of those things together have resulted in increases in investment from those other jurisdictions.
Alongside all the drilling and activity in Alberta, we've also seen an influx of criticism and greater environmental concerns and greater environmental criticism. What is your own province doing to mitigate that?
Well, we, again, we want to see development in Saskatchewan, but of course we want to see it done in a sustainable fashion, in an environmentally responsible fashion. We don't have many problems in that area, I guess I would say. The industry's been very, very responsible. Our department monitors it very, very closely. We feel that it's being, the industry is being very, very responsible in terms of the types of developments that we've seen so far.
Of course, with the resources, your particular province is particularly prone to boom and bust cycles of the broader commodity cycle. What is the province doing to mitigate that impact? Do you have a special fund, a rainy day fund, for example, like Alberta has and Norway has as well?
We do. We have a fiscal stabilization fund that we have about $750 million in right now. You will see in our upcoming budget that I think it'll be a very responsible budget that we'll be presenting in later in March 24th. I think it'll set Saskatchewan apart from other provinces. It'll be a balanced budget that I think is going to be very, very welcome in Saskatchewan. There's obviously going to be some changes, but nevertheless, I think that the vast majority of people in our province, and I think probably throughout Canada, will view it as a change the course type budget that's going to be very, very welcome, I believe, to the people of Saskatchewan.
Now, you've also got something called the Go Green Fund. Fund. What's that all about?
Well, that's for green initiatives to look at carbon capture and storage is a good example of that, to look at transmission, smart grids, to look at environmentally responsible programs, recycling, all of those types of things that we would call very green initiatives. Go Green makes sense for a lot of reasons, including our football team, of course, the Riders.
And you also have a new corporate citizen that recently joined the province. Of course, that's BHP Billiton. A lot of people out there speculating that not only is it there for the short term, but the long term, and perhaps some of the biggest companies in the province might be takeover targets. What are you doing to ensure that these resources and these jobs stay in Canada and perhaps stay with Canadian companies?
Well, we think that BHP's decision to move into our province and look at investing, they've invested about $1 billion in Saskatchewan, has been very, very good. We welcome that type of investment and interest in our province. Clearly, that's good for it in terms of employment or potentially royalties down the road. We think that they're doing a great job. We may see them look at acquisitions. I don't know. That'll be a decision that BHP will make themselves. But at this point, I've met with them on a number of occasions. Clearly, they are looking at a greenfield operation, a brand new mining operation, potash mine in Saskatchewan, and we think that that's that is a good thing for our province.
Bill, when you look farther down the road and the pace of growth for the resources sector, what sort of job growth do you anticipate for your province if we look as far out as 5 years, perhaps even 10 years?
Well, we believe we will continue to lead the nation in that area just as we are right now. Saskatchewan is doing extremely well. We're leading in terms of GDP growth. That's forecast for 2010 and 11, I believe, by the Conference Board. We also believe that our job growth will be very strong. We see record job numbers in Saskatchewan right now, which is very, very positive, of course. We see young people staying in Saskatchewan, first of all being educated and then staying, making their careers in Saskatchewan. And we see a large number of people from Saskatchewan that have moved elsewhere moving back, and we also see people that are moving from places like Ontario to Saskatchewan. We see our immigration numbers are up, so it's a great province to be a part of these days.
All right, Bill, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for spending time with us today.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That was Bill Boyd, Saskatchewan Minister of Energy and Resources, and he joined us from down at the TSX.